Welcome to the only wrestling podcast that covers the WWE developmental system from its inception to modern day. From OVW to MCW, the HWA, Deep South, FCW, and much more. Hosted by Brian Asbury and Mortimer Blankenship. Now let's dive into what could have been, what should have been. Welcome to Developmentally Speaking.
Hey everybody, I'm Mortimer Blankenship.
I'm Brian Asbury.
And welcome to
Developmentally Speaking.
We got a great episode lined up for you today. Today, who are we going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking about a man that's not an ordinary man. He is a con man.
Listen to me when I'm talking to you, boy, and I'm calling you boy. Now, I've beaten you in every type of match there's known to man, down and dirty, no DQ. Strap matches, every match we've had, I've won. And you come out here on television, in front of all these people, and you're going to wrestle the pawn of destruction? Who is he? He is nobody. I'm the Iron Man, and I am somebody. He's the common man. I'm a superhero, and you should be facing me.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the Iron Man, Rob Conway.
Absolutely. So, OVW, when I was growing up, was
The cat's pajamas?
the bee's knees. It was my favorite thing to watch. I absolutely loved turning on Channel 7 and watching
The
OVW.
WB?
The WB, yeah, the frog. Hello, my baby, that guy, you know. I love watching OVW. And back then, one of my favorite people to hate was the Iron Man, Rob Conway. I couldn't stand him.
It's easy to hate the con man. It's a good gimmick.
Absolutely. So, I know Rob now personally.
Mm-hmm.
I know how great of a worker he is. His work ethic is great. How much he cares about the younger guys is great. But I don't know much about where he got started.
Well, let me help you with that journey, Maury. Conway started in '97 with Danny Davis. Conway is an Indiana native, so
New Albany, correct?
New Albany.
New Albany.
The original territory, Ohio Valley Wrestling, was based out of Jeffersonville, Indiana, and then they went over the river and did the Davis Arena. But the original four started at the old arena in Jeffersonville.
And when we say the original four, we're referring to
Dinsmore, Conway, Damaja, and Basham.
right.
So for those of you, Dinsmore became Eugene in WWE. Damaja and Doug Basham became the Basham brothers. And Conway kept his name and was
And
Conway.
did things the Conway.
He did it the Conway.
But yeah, so he got to start in OVW.
Yes.
Okay, so I did know more about it. I thought he probably trained somewhere before then, but no, his start was OVW with Danny and Rip and all those guys.
He did an article in 2004 with Indianapolis Monthly saying that he thought that it would only take him 6 months, but it took him 6 years to get to the WWE because he thought everybody was out of shape. And he was doing personal training in Louisville at the time. So
he will admit that, I'm talking to him, that you know, when he was younger, he for lack of a better term, he thought his stuff didn't stink.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
You're saying the con man was a shoot back then.
More so, yeah.
Yeah.
More so than we would think. From what I've talked to him about, he's, you know, looking back, it was a learning process.
Oh, yeah.
For all of it. So yeah, like it's one of those where I just
You grow as you go.
because knowing him now and seeing him in these videos, I know that's Rob.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's take a look at this first clip.
Let's take a little trip down memory lane.
All right. Now this comes from what was the date?
It's April 28th, 1999.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this.
This is the Jeffersonville Arena.
Yeah. This is before they went over the river.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a look. So we got him facing Nick Dinsmore here.
Yes.
Look at the work of the crowd.
Mr. Wrestling Nick Dinsmore,
Yeah,
my favorite.
I think they said most of that crowd was Mr. Wrestling Nick Dinsmore's high school.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're fresh. I mean, what year did these guys graduate? I wonder. So, I mean,
Conway was 90, I believe. So, like, if
9 years out. Yeah.
I think that Dinsmore is from Jeffersonville area. So, I mean, Jeffersonville and New Albany is nothing. It's rival schools, maybe. I'm sure they're about the same age. So,
Yeah, I'd say close to it. But what I loved about that was he left his sunglasses on.
that's the comment. And this is something he would continue to do through his career when he was on national television as well.
Right. But, and then as he got older, I know multiple occasions before the match would start, he'd wear his sunglasses, but he would take them off and give them to a fan.
Mm-hmm.
That was more when he was in the NWA after his WWE stint. But yeah, what I like about Rob is even though he admits now that he was sort of a jerk,
Mm-hmm.
he stayed true to himself.
Yeah.
And I think WWE utilized him decently. But let's talk about that. Like,
So Conway in OVW. Let me pull up my Cliff Notes here. He is a multi-time. So he's a 5-time OVW heavyweight champion and 11-time OVW Southern Tag Team champion. Now, most of those victories
you see right there the belt
is with Dinsmore for 10 times OVW Southern Tag Team champion. Was with Dinsmore, one with Pat Buck, who is now an agent with the WWE. Correct? Yeah.
I believe that is correct.
Yeah. So Dinsmore actually and Conway have always been neck and neck, side to side through this journey. And so lost my train of thought here.
That happens. So who came to WWE first?
Okay, so that's where I was going. Thank you, Maury.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he did a long stint in OVW, and your average stint in developmental back then was at very least 2 years. If you went on TV before then, you probably don't remember like Eric Escobar or Palmer Cannon or all these names that you probably don't know who I'm talking about. He debuted as a
Escobar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That brought back
The wheels never stop turning.
My gosh. Where's that guy?
So Conway debuted as a French sympathizer.
Which was huge. What year was it that he... Was it 02?
No. This was 05, 06.
Was it really? Because here
Well, no. You're right, because...
because a French sympathizer, that the reason that would have made him such a heel was because of, 9/11. After 9/11, we got into war, and the French didn't want to help us.
So,
And all of a sudden, they started naming stuff Freedom Fries.
you
remember that?
So, I take that back. I think we're halfway, because WrestleMania 20, it was La Resistance, and it was Conway
Yeah.
was in that match.
Okay.
So, maybe 2003? Early 2004 he debuted?
Wasn't he dressed as like a military man or something?
He was in the audience, and he came in waving the flag, and then he broke it over the Dudley's back.
Oh, man.
And then sided with Rene Dupree and Sylvain Grenier. And I believe that Rene got hurt.
Rene was young.
Yeah, Rene was...
How young was Rene?
Like X-Pac young when he was
Like
signed.
super young.
Yeah. So I think Rene got hurt, so they just threw Conway into that role. So because La Resistance was over, they were getting heat. They didn't want to lose
huge,
that.
Huge.
Good and bad.
It's the patriotism ran deep because of what was going on in the world. And when you had, there was, it's just another case of when Sergeant Slaughter became, what was it, an Iranian sympathizer or something?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the same idea. It was the Sergeant Slaughter just put right on Rob Conway, except for we weren't against France, but they weren't helping us, so we kind of didn't like them, I guess. I say we, not me personally. I didn't have any. I still ate French fries. They weren't called freedom fries when I ate them. And as you can see, I ate plenty of French/freedom fries back in the day. Still do. But yeah, I remember. I remember being a kid and watching Rob in OVW, and then seeing him go to WWE. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't know what was happening.
Well, I mean, and when we say OVW, so we got to see a lot of these people before they were on national
Totally different
television.
gimmicks.
So when you people, you were like, who's this? I mean, we knew who Rob Conway was, who John Cena was, who the Bashams were.
Yeah.
They were at our local middle schools, high schools. They were all around our
The
area.
Dicks. We knew who the Dicks were when they came out.
The Dicks, one of the greatest tag teams ever. Now, let me tell you, Tank Tolan is a good man. He's a good wrestler. He's a good worker. For them to give him that gimmick is a whole nother episode.
Tank Tolan and what was the other guy's name?
Chad Wicks.
Chad Wicks, which became Chad Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I remember back in, what was it, 2008? I met Tank personally.
Yes.
Well, because of you.
Yeah.
And super, super cool dude. But here we are getting off on a tangent. We're here to talk about Rob Conway.
So, this is episode 1, so it is going to be a learning curve. So, me and Morty were both right. Conway debuted August 18th, 2003.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle there.
No, yep.
Did Attack the Deadlies. They added him to the trio. From what I don't think Renee was hurt. He got drafted to SmackDown, so they tried to revive. How to put this politely? Sometimes WWE likes to throw shit against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. I like that.
So they already had a tag team. They added Conway into the mix to do a trio, and then they draft out the original member, and then stick Conway instead of making Conway his own guy.
Yeah,
now
which
maybe
made no sense because they already had a set gimmick for Sylvain Grenier and Rene Dupree.
maybe they saw something in Dupree and they wanted to shoot him to the moon. Maybe Pritchard was high on the French stickler. Maybe Patterson.
Who knows? That's just how.
And they wanted to push Renee because he was so young.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get back to that, but we do have a little more footage of Rob that I'd like to watch, just because we can. Let's see here.
Now, this is 99. He started in 97. So they're very green here, but they're still solid workers.
So this is 99, so 4 years before he started in the E, and 2 years after he started wrestling. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Look at that.
Oh, look at the
Posing.
pose down.
Pose.
Cutter.
Ooh. What a sell. That's a very good sell.
Conway. Boom!
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that was beautiful.
Beautiful.
We're going to keep throwing some of that stuff in there just so we can show you. There is something very, very specific about this match that is very important. By the end of this episode, you're going to know what it is. But, yeah, it's impressive. And we all know Nick, what he went on to do in the WWE, and we will talk about that. We will lightly walk around that subject.
Yes. Tread lightly.
Tread lightly around that subject, which even back then I felt uneasy watching that gimmick. But let's talk about after. So how many belts did he win with La Resistance?
It wasn't.
Was it 2 or 3?
It had to have been 2.
I
Three times
Three
with
times.
Sylvan.
Yeah.
But they were only a tag team for 2 years, and that's about the WWE normalcy is 2 years.
Yeah, tag team wrestling
Back
unfortunately,
then.
yeah, wasn't as strong as it should have been.
No.
I truly, being a old school wrestling mark, I love tag team wrestling. Managing wise, I've always loved managing tag teams because there's so much more you can do with a tag team. So much more cheating and a lot easier to piss off the crowd with a
That's
tag
true.
team. I truly do. But you know, and I think Rob was is still a good enough worker that he could do singles, he could do tag team, and I believe personally when he was in the tag team with Sylvan, nothing to knock at Sylvan. Sylvan's a great worker, but I think Rob was the Shawn Michaels and Sylvan was the Marty Jannetty.
So Sylvan was still very young. I mean,
Yeah.
so Rob had already been.
And that was a bash on Marty Jannetty, just to throw that out there.
Rob had already been. So back then, before NXT days, when they weren't on the road, most people were in Louisville, so they would fly back to Louisville, and they would work OVW shows between.
Kind of like Tampa now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So Tampa, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
No, Orlando.
Orlando.
So
it was Tampa. A few
It
years
was
ago.
Tampa for FC Dub.
So now it's Orlando.
But like, so if Conway's on the road Mondays, he's probably gonna go back to Louisville the following day, work OVW TV on Wednesday, fly back out, and then do like the house shows and all that.
Right.
So they were always working back then on what's the next step? How can this character evolve? And if Conway wanted to try something different and he wasn't digging the La Resistance, he would go. You would go back down to OVW and you would try something, because that was only local television. It wasn't national television,
No.
so nobody's going to see it but a few hundred people.
Yeah, this is before everybody had camera phones.
Yeah,
This is before everybody had YouTube. Before they could post a match and be like, "This is what's happening, guys." Because I remember seeing somebody. I can't remember who it was, but they'd be on WWE television doing a totally different character, and be on OVW doing something totally different.
oh yeah,
And I was to the point where wrestling. I knew I was smartened up, but it was still like, why are they doing this? Now I realize.
Give you a perfect example. Matt Morgan, 7 foot, lean guy, cut guy. Was Jim Cornette's monster in OVW. He gets a phone call. We want to put a mask on him. Why? They bring him to TV and then they make him stutter. He's 7 foot and he's cut. Good looking guy.
Right.
Let's put a mask on him and or make him stutter.
Make
'cause
him stutter.
Stuttering will get you over.
See, I stutter when I get tired, but luckily, I have Ray's energy drink. That's right. I don't get tired because I have Ray's energy drink. This drink right here is called Baja Lime, and it tastes like that Baja drink that you get at that taco restaurant. You know the one I'm talking about.
It's a blast.
Yeah, it's a blast to drink for sure.
Yeah.
But the one at the restaurant is blue. Mm-hmm. This is clear.
No artificial dyes.
Yeah,
and or
zero
coloring.
sugar, zero carbs, zero artificial dye. It tastes great. I really, really enjoy it. They're also our sponsor, and we'd like to thank them a lot. So, Ray's Energy Drink, thank you so much. Now back to our scheduling.
Whoa. You click the link below.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Takes you there. You order you a case. You want 15% off? You just put the code developmentally speaking. Easy, nice. 15% off.
I started the commercial. He finished it.
Yeah, well.
So, yeah. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Matt Morgan. Yeah, they gave him a stutter on TV.
They just, again, our longtime close personal friends, John Laurinaitis, which
We love John Laurinaitis so much.
my love for Laurinaitis will probably prevent me from ever going some places.
No, I'm sure there's footage of you doing something to prevent you going anywhere.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
Well, okay, we'll do another episode about John Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
So they split in '05, and then we finally get to see the Con Man. So we're getting, and I'm sure that Rob always wanted to be the Con Man.
I'm sure he did.
Nothing wrong with tag team wrestling. I can see a perfect segue of starting, but then once you're comfortable, you kind of know what are you going to do when they split us? What are you going to,
Right.
this guy you've traveled with, blah, blah, blah. Yep.
Right.
You're just going to, like, trip him, push him down the stairs, and be like, hey.
Throw him through a barbershop window.
Roll him down the stairs in a wheelchair.
There's so many different things. I remember Rob going solo, and I remember them using him like crazy on the B shows.
Well, the rumor and innuendo was he was supposed to be Intercontinental Champion.
Really?
Never came to fruition. But yes, so going back to...
Who became Intercontinental instead?
The Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Oh.
Woo.
Well,
So,
wow.
going back to Matt saying the B shows, he's probably referring to Heat, Velocity back then.
When he says Matt, he means
SmackDown.
me, Morty.
Morty, I had too much Ray's energy. So, like, if they split the tag team and they're trying to find out what to do, he's going to go back down to OVW, and then he's going to start working Heat. He's going to start working Velocity. That way he's still in front of a national audience.
Shotgun Saturday Night?
Shotgun, Metal, Jacked.
Did Shotgun Saturday Night exist then?
No.
I just love Shotgun Saturday Night!
So they would go and work the road schedule, but they would do Heat.
Right.
Or
Sunday Night Heat was taped on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and Velocity.
And Velocity was on SmackDown, right?
Yes.
Right. Was SmackDown was taped back then, right?
Yes.
So it was taped on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Right? So it was Monday night they taped
Raw, Heat.
They did Heat. Was it Raw then Heat or Heat then Raw?
Heat, then Raw.
They would tape Heat, then they would do live Raw, and then on Tuesdays they would tape Velocity and then do SmackDown taped as well.
You fly back to Louisville and do OVW TV on Wednesday.
Right.
So, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you fly out. And most of the time, people like that in the transitional period would do the house show. So they would face the bigger stars.
Right, exactly. And then Sunday night, they would have, if there's a pay-per-view, they'd be there too.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Sunday nights, pay-per-views back in the day. A little not known fact is Conway and Dinsmore were Los Conquistadores.
Wait, what?
The Gold Guys.
Yes.
Yes.
No, not the original ones, but
Yeah.
but the
Conquistadors.
like
They
way,
played one set of them, yeah. So
Way-
Conway and Dinsmore and all these people, way back in the day,
They were always extras.
Dinsmore was a druid at one point.
Right.
They were always doing.
Was
the
it
extra
Dinsmore
work.
Doink at one point?
I believe so.
I think Dinsmore was a Doink at one point.
So, like, they did a lot of stuff back then that you can't do now because NXT is considered a brand and not a developmental system. So they could put Morty or me on there and you wouldn't know who we were, and then
Right. I remember another OVW guy, Clint Von Dilligan. Von
Yes.
Lilas. I remember he was Hulk Hogan's
Security. Yeah.
guard. I remember going, "Oh, I know that guy. That's crazy." Like, it's almost kind of like, because even though they still do that to an extent. They bring people, but it's nobody that's in NXT. It'd be independent people.
Yeah.
Like, this is not really relevant now, but Adam Rose.
Mm-hmm.
When he had the
Rosebuds?
The Rosebuds. The Rosebuds, every week I knew at least 2 or 3 Rosebuds because I've been on shows with them. I'm like,
And the bunny?
Yeah, the bunny. I don't know who the bunny was. I have no idea who the bunny was. Do you know who the bunny was?
I remember the one time you were asked to scream during a bunny match.
Did I scream during a bunny match? I did.
One close time personal friend
Yeah.
asked you to scream during a Monday Night Raw event. and Morty over here was the loudest.
Well, that's
because they were taping Total Divas at the time.
when I'm told to be loud, I'm loud.
Yeah, give them the Shattered Dreams.
Okay, we got to cut and tell that story right now. So we were at a Raw taping, and a close and personal friend of Brian's said, "Hey, you guys got to be loud." And you can't tell right now, but if you look at Brian, who is usually a loud person, when he's told to be loud, he's quiet. So I had to do it. So I don't even remember what I yelled during certain matches, except for and you'll remember this was the episode of Raw that Seth Rollins turned on the rest of the Shield.
Okay. Yes.
You remember that? It was. And there was a match that had Goldust in it. And, of course, this is years since Goldust had even attempted a Shattered Dreams. Like, they just didn't do it anymore because I guess it wasn't really PG, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kicking a guy between the legs is a part of wrestling, but
It's a no-no.
apparently you can't do it in the PG
There
era.
are rules and regulations.
But I was like, I've got it. I just remember being a kid and laughing at the Shattered Dream. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm going to wait until there's a quiet part in this match. Because every match there's that quiet part where you have your little window of like 5 seconds to like scream something. And it was, I don't know, was it a double down maybe? I don't remember. I can't remember. But I just, without hesitation, as soon as it got quiet in there, screamed at the top of my lungs, "Give them the Shattered Dreams!"
And it was loud.
And everybody in there heard it. So if you go and look up that episode and look up the Goldust match, you can hear me screaming, "Give him the Shattered Dreams" at some point in that match. I yelled it so loud that there was some fat guy in the audience that told me to shut the hell up. He looked directly at me, picked me out, was like, "Shut the hell up!" And no, I didn't. So, but back to Rob Conway. Let's watch this next clip, shall we?
Shall we?
All right. So he picks up Dinsmore, whips him off, hits him with that left-handed clothesline. Oh, look at that.
Conway.
Doing it to Conway. So he throws the left arm clotheslines.
Those
See
are
that?
tough. That's tough to do with business. That's tough.
See, I'm trained to throw left arm.
That's the
clotheslines.
Conway. Left arm.
Yeah. Boom, right into the back elbow. See, that is so simple.
This is who, on July 17th, 2005, this is the man that debuted.
Yeah.
The Con Man. And would you just look at him?
I loved his entrance music. Oh man, but talking about that left arm clothesline, you don't see people do that anymore.
No.
And I don't know if he changed it up later on in life or not, but down in the comments below, I want you guys to tell us if you know why back in the day, not so much now, the left arm clothesline was preferred. Do you know the reason?
No, I prefer the JBL clothesline.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Can I give you one?
huh?
Can I give you one?
No, we're good. We're good. We're not going to do that. But left arm clotheslines, why do you think they were performed that way? And we'll let you know here later in the episode to see if you're right. But stop right now, pause, click the like button, do all that. Go ahead and make the comment, and then come back. And then,
And after you're paused, go ahead and buy some of our merch.
oh, yeah, we do. We do have merch. Check this out. You go to tidyurl.com, DEVSPK merch, for developmentally speaking merch, and we got some sweet stuff. We've got hoodies, we've got men and women's t-shirts, we have fanny packs, we got tumblers.
We got
beer
lamb,
glasses.
ram, potatoes, tomatoes.
But yeah, if you get a chance, go over there and check it out. Yeah, we got something for anybody. We got stuff for ladies. We got stuff for gentlemen. We got stuff for non-binary friends. So
We do.
we got it all figured out.
You need to drink your favorite beverage out of that beautiful, beautiful tumbler there.
You could drink some Ray's energy drink out of it if you like. Or, I mean, you can also drink some Twisted Tea out of it, too.
Double down, baby. Double
That's
down.
Right. Mix them together. It'll be good. We'll like it. Good stuff. Oh, well, so back to Rob Conway. He is now in his singles career.
And he did. I mean, he mainly floated
Right.
on the B shows, Heat, and opening matches,
Which is
Raw, and
another example of WWE
not knowing what to
floundering.
do. Yeah.
A perfectly good
Filler matches, if you will.
yeah, and like you said, he was supposed to be the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, so he did this for a while. And then Conway was supposed to defeat Flair, but at the last minute they changed their minds and put the Intercontinental title on Flair. And I don't think
he
anybody
was supposed to defeat Flair, so Flair was already the champion?
Yeah, he was supposed. No, wait. Yes. Yeah.
So his only championship match was against Flair.
Yeah, they were going to put the rocket on him and go, and they're just like, no. And then after he got defeated by Flair, that's when he went on his losing streak.
Yeah, and at one point, did he get beat up by a whole bunch of legends?
Oh,
or
he
something
did.
like
That's
that?
probably what Conway is most well known for is the Raw Homecoming and then the Legends segment, I'd say.
Yeah,
With the Mac and Dream.
yeah, let me tell you something, Daddy. No, he... the Tower of Power, too sweet to be tower.
Funky like a monkey.
Yeah, but anyway, well, he...
A sweet sapphire.
You gotta stop. I can't even think now. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Rob Conway
I'll
faced...
be your huckleberry. No, okay.
Okay, you can continue on then.
Oh, well, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Anyway, the Rob Conway versus all the different... He sold his ass
And
off
I'm
for
sure he
those guys.
loved every
I
second of
guarantee
that.
you that. I mean, I remember him talking about facing Flair and how it was awesome and all that. Let's continue on with that. I have worked on both sides of the ring when it comes to Rob Conway. I have managed people against him. I have managed Rob Conway as a babyface manager. And I have never had a bad experience with Rob. I do believe that he got what he deserved whenever he went to the NWA. And
Yeah,
got
I'll give you that.
He won the NWA World Heavyweight title. I mean, that belt's gorgeous. Absolutely.
I
gorgeous.
remember holding that belt during a match on one of your shows.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, for sure. And, for me, being the old school guy, the NWA heavyweight belt is probably one of my favorite belts of all time, if not my favorite. He also held the Mid-America heavyweight belt, NWA Mid-America heavyweight belt, which was, and still is, the lineage is still in Supreme Wrestling. It's no longer an NWA belt, but it is called the Mid-America heavyweight belt. The lineage does go back all the way to people like Dutch Mantel. Let's see here.
Zeb Coulter for your new people.
Yeah, Zeb Coulter. We the people. But let's see here.
Or for your older people, he managed Eli and Jacob Blue.
Wow, that was reaching out.
Was he
there.
Zebekiah? He was Zebekiah back then.
Zebekiah Coulter.
Yeah.
Zebekiah Coulter. I kind of got to chew it. But yeah, that belt was, he also held that belt, which, I mean, that's, to other people, that's not a big deal. But to me, that's one of my favorite belts that I've, been a part of, was the Mid-America title, just because the lineage, it does go back to, let's see here, Beautiful Bobby. He held it. There's so many other people. Rip Rogers has held that belt. To
The
a lot of
Hustler.
people. Yeah. To a lot of people who don't know who Rip is, which we're going to talk about Rip. Trust me, Rip's going to get talked about.
Oh, yeah.
because he deserves to be talked about. But I've traveled with Rob Conway, and if you ask Rob Conway about traveling with me, he'll probably just tell you that I slept the whole time. But I didn't. I remember just listening to his stories and soaking it all in. And just hearing, he told me he's given me so much good advice on, when to jump up on the ring, when to get involved, and also how to make myself invisible. Because I'm a manager. I don't have to be out there the whole time. I have to become invisible so that the people that are, working their craft and perfecting the craft of the ring for the audience is being known, being seen, not me. But yeah, it may not be a super special wrestling career, but I would like to thank Rob Conway for being a very large part of Warmer Blankenship and who I am, because he has really, really helped me a lot. And he didn't get what he deserved with WWE.
I will second that.
He didn't. I think they utilized him well at first with the tag team, put some belts on him, and they were the hottest heel tag team for a while. But his single career never came to fruition the way it should have. They floundered him.
Yeah. And after months of losing, on January 1st, 2007, Conway put his career on the line. And he did lose that match. Vinnie Mac came out and gave him the old, "You're fired."
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
That. I'm glad that we have these spit guards, though, because the microphone would have went haywire on that.
So when they quote unquote fired Conway on January 1st, 2007, just meant he was going back down to developmental to be repackaged into something else. At that time, I was still going to OVW, and Conway grew a beard then, and I'm not sure where it was going or what they were going to do. I know he tagged with Sylvain for a while,
Right.
And then ultimately on May 11th, 2007, WWE released him from his contract. So 2007, give or take, I would say he was around. WWE was probably about a decade of his life.
Yeah. All right. For sure.
Dark matches, and then pre-developmental, and then developmental, and then his Raw run. I don't think he was ever on SmackDown. I think he was always a Raw guy.
Was he really? I don't know for sure. But, he may have never got the belt that, he deserved, the credibility.
He'd have been a good Intercontinental. He'd have been a good Intercontinental guy.
However, let's go back to, what was the date for the match?
April 28th, 1999.
Let's go back to the end of that match. Oh, Damager getting involved up there.
Damager later became Danny Basham.
Yeah, absolutely. Big knee to the back.
The Con Man rolling up Dinsmore. 2, 3.
This right here is Rob Conway winning his first OVW heavyweight title. So, yeah.
First of many.
First of many.
Defeating, I think, the Conway-Dinsmore feud.
Yeah.
How would you compare that?
The Conway... Okay, so Conway was the Macho Man to Dinsmore's... Steamboat. Absolutely. Like, they're still good friends to this day. They still talk all the time. And they're like bread and butter. The way they work with each other is beautiful. And with that, talking about Nick kind of gets me excited. I think we're going to need to talk about Nick real soon. Real soon, because he is another one that they never found a great gimmick for him. And then they threw together something that was really controversial. And like most of these guys we're going to talk about, they realize it's their only chance to make it to WWE, so they take it.
You get in that pattern of you're tired of being developmental. You're tired of working in front of 300, 400, or 500 people. You know, your paycheck says World Wrestling Entertainment, and you want to feel that. You know, that 2-year mark. You're like, okay, I've done this. I've done my time. I'm ready to show you what I can do. And it doesn't always work out that way, and especially in that time period, it didn't work out for almost everybody. And that's the purpose of this, is to better explain who these people were.
And before we close this up, I just want to remind everybody one more time, we do have merch. It's tinyurl.com/DEVSPK merch. You can get your t-shirts, your hoodies, your wonderful beer glasses. I got to get me one of those pretty soon. We got fanny packs, tumblers, anything and everything for what you could want. I mean, we also got stickers. I know stickers are always fun. You can take it, stick it on the back of your car. People are like, hey, what's that? You can tell them, go check out Morty and Brian. They got a great show, and we'd really appreciate it. Yeah. So, in closing,
this was episode 1.
We would like to have some feedback from you guys. Please comment below. Let us know what we can do better. We're trying to bring you the best thing we can bring you. And we want it to be entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we want it to be. Maybe one day I can get Rob to come in here and talk with us a little bit.
Get a little more in depth. But no, this was just a cliff note highlight of some of Rob's time in the wrestling.
Right. With that being said, this has been Developmentally Speaking. I'm Mortimer Blankenship.
I'm Brian Asbury.
And this has been our episode
Number
on
1.
Rob Conway.
Listen to me when I'm talking to you, boy, and I'm calling you boy. Now, I've beaten you in every type of match there's known to man, down and dirty, no DQ. Strap matches, every match we've had, I've won. And you come out here on television in front of all these people, and you're going to wrestle the pawn of destruction? Who is he? He is nobody. I'm the Iron Man, and I am somebody. He's the common man. I'm a superhero, and you should be facing me.
Truly, nobody did it better. He really did do it.
The Conway.
The Conway. We'll see you guys later.
Have a good one.
Hey everybody, it's Morty.
It's Brian.
And thank you for watching today's episode of Developmentally Speaking.
If you could, please click that subscribe button.
And don't forget to punch that bell icon so you can get notified whenever we go live or drop a new video every Monday. Well, thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you on the next
Developmentally Speaking.